stranger, and welcome back to my channel. As you probably can tell, we've moved. But what you don't know is that we moved into my parents' home. Yeah, you heard it right. I'm nearly 30, moving back home. The cocktail of gratitude and shame is intense, to say the least. I'm honestly so thankful for my parents for taking us in, both me and my boyfriend. Without them, this would have been complete chaos. But even with all of that gratitude, I felt embarrassed at first. I've had this image of how my life should look like by now, and the reality, or at least my current reality, is very different. And then there's the pressure that society puts on us. You know what I mean? It feels like to have a successful and happy life, you must reach certain milestones by certain ages. And if you don't, it feels like you failed somehow. I know that feeling all too well, and I still struggle with it. But the truth is that everyone has their own rhythm, everyone has their own timeline, and comparing yourself to others doesn't help anyone. It's quite the opposite. What surprised me the most was actually how many old feelings came rushing back in as soon as we arrived. Being back in the same room, in the same street, in the same kitchen, brought up old dynamics that I totally did not see coming. My parents have unconsciously slipped into treating me as the version of me that used to live here, because that is what they're familiar with, that younger, unsure, still figuring herself out version that, to be honest, no longer exists, because in the time that I spent away from here, I have actually grown up a lot. And to be fair, I hadn't realized how many little things changed about me since I was here. My habits, when I eat, what I eat, my routines, my boundaries, it's all different now. But underneath those surface things were deeper emotional triggers that I thought I had outgrown. And then, right after we moved in, my boyfriend had to go back to Korea for about 3 weeks. So it was just me here, going through what I now call boundaries boot camp. You can steal that idea for me. I can give it for you for free. It was this unfamiliar, delicate balance of honoring my own boundaries while still making sure to not hurt them. Sometimes it meant retreating into my own room. Sometimes it meant sticking with my own way of doing things even if they didn't approve. Sometimes it meant resisting that first impulsive emotional response. Other times it meant slipping into this numb apathy that made me feel so guilty. And only later I realized that it was just my brain trying to protect me in its own way. I know that this won't resonate with everybody, and that is okay. But I'm sure that if somebody had dynamics like this or went through dynamics like this, they will know exactly what I'm talking about. The biggest lesson I'm learning is how to self-regulate and how to respond to emotions without letting them take over me, all the while still honoring them for what they show me. I'm definitely not perfect at it. I still have a long way to go, but I feel much more grounded now than I did even 2 weeks ago. And to be frank, I'm thankful for this lesson. And not everyone has a second chance to work on the relationship with their parents as an adult. It's messy, it's uncomfortable, but it's also kind of healing. Okay, that's enough emotional intensity for one video. So let me lighten the mood by telling you about the actual moving process, because that part was surprisingly smooth, except for the part where I had a meltdown while surrounded by half-packed boxes, thinking that we would never make it in time. Fun times, fun times. I also realized that I have way too many clothes. Like, I have clothes from middle school. Why? I'm a hoarder. Thanks, Mom. Which is why I'm planning of actually making a decluttering series, because I want to declutter these clothes before the end of the year. And it's November. Oopsie. Can we make it in time? I don't know. We'll see. That's a challenge I'm giving to myself and to you. You're doing this with me. If anybody's watching, because I'm not sure if I would listen to a rambling woman. I'm not even sure you can still see me. Okay, so I didn't realize that winter time meant much shorter days, and the light is fading, so I have to be a bit quick. Now, about the move itself, we had 3 options. The first one was to use our own car and go back and forth like a gazillion times, which would have taken, 57 years or something. I don't know, like way too long. The second option was to rent a van, which was doable, but just the thought makes me feel exhausted. The third option was to hire a moving company, which is the most expensive option. Or so we thought. After comparing all the prices, the moving company was actually the cheapest option and the fastest one. We found a local moving company, and they picked everything up from our apartment in Florence. And by the way, Florence is like a really old city, if you didn't know, which means there's no lifts whatsoever. Like, to find a lift, you need to pay in gold or give your first unborn child or something. It's hell. But they took care of the stairs as well. I didn't have to go back and forth with the boxes. I'm so happy about that. I would do it again and again. Recommend, 10 out of 10. They loaded up the van and we managed to do everything in less than a day. I think that we started very early in the morning, like around 5 or 6 a.m. And we were here at my parents' home around 12 to 1 p.m. maximum. And it was done in less than a day. The whole move. Finito. But the part that I'm most proud of? My system. Listen, you should know that I'm a Virgo rising, so it means that organizing everything is my Roman Empire, okay? What I did was that I numbered all the boxes and I then proceeded to create a spreadsheet. A round of applause for the spreadsheet because I'm gonna be doing it every time now. Unfortunately, I had to hand draw the spreadsheet because my printer decided there wasn't enough tension in the air and dramatically ran out of ink. In my little spreadsheet, I added categories. I had macro categories that were also written on the boxes. I had then a small actual description of what was inside the box. I had a column for urgency, a column for loading, and a column for unloading, and a column for comments. It was the full spreadsheet fantasy. So what we did during the unloading was that they would just tell me the number that was written on the box, and I would immediately, with my spreadsheet, tell them where it was supposed to go. And we finished in like 30 minutes. It was so satisfying. There is no escaping the chaos of packing, trust me. But the unpacking, it doesn't have to be like that. Last time we moved, I needed 2 weeks of recovery. I was sleeping 12 hours a day, each day. It was crazy. But this time, zero collapse. Just smug Virgo victory. I absolutely recommend this method. Next time, I'm thinking of digitalizing, like a 2.0 of the spreadsheet. And I will be happy as long as I don't have to hand draw it again. So that's the strange season that we're in. Returning, resettling, reorganizing everything. If there is something that you might take away from this video, maybe it's this. Sometimes in life you might take what looks like a step back, but it's not failure. It's simply redirection. It's a chance to realign, and it's only part of the rhythm.